A number caught people's attention in Christchurch recently. $72 million. That's what Christchurch City Council spent on consultants in one financial year. Break that down, and it's $277,000 every single day. This story came from a concerned subscriber, and the timing makes it especially important. Link to the article in the description. But here's where this gets really interesting. Just last month, the government chose Christchurch City Council to run a new national consenting service for large-scale supermarket developments.
The Christchurch City Council has been chosen to run a new national one-stop consenting service for large-scale supermarket developments, a move Finance Minister Nicola Willis says will attract new competitors and help drive down grocery prices across New Zealand. Why was the Christchurch City Council selected to lead this national consenting role? Why are they so good?
According to 5 criteria, they were capability, timeliness, efficiency, customer focus, and consistency. So they essentially looked at what is the track record of the building consent process at Christchurch Council, how have they done on these sorts of developments in the past, do we think that they had the chops to do it in the future and do it well, and Christchurch came out top of the pack.
Finance Minister Nicola Willis said they picked Christchurch because they came out top of the pack on efficiency, capability and consistency. So let me get this straight. The council that spends $277,000 per day on consultants is considered the most efficient in New Zealand. And it gets even more puzzling. In a recent interview, Christchurch Mayor Phil Mauger said he's the first to say I would like to see us spend less money on consultants. He talked about the cost of living crisis and wanting to keep rates as low as possible.
Staff now know the mood of the room on what we can do and what councillors would like to do and maybe chop back on.
Here's another contradiction. The Mayor says they're cutting their capital programme from $700 million to $500 million to save money. But apparently $72 million on consultants isn't worth cutting. He says staff know the mood of the room about what to chop back on. So why isn't consultant spending on that list? And there's more. The Mayor now says he supports releasing details about the council's $1.36 million spend with a Maori advisory group, agreeing the public deserves to know what that money covered. But that's just one consultancy. What about the other $70.64 million in consultant spending? Where's the transparency on that? Meanwhile, the government just announced something that makes this spending even more frustrating. They've promised a rates cap to control council spending. Sounds good, right? Finally, some relief for families struggling with exploding rates bills. But here's the catch. This cap doesn't start until 2029. That's 4 years away. And councils across New Zealand have been going wild. Rates have jumped 34% over 3 years. Colourful toilet blocks, salaries that would make a millionaire blush, and a paperclip sculpture are among a list of questionable spending. And councils know what's coming. They have 4 years to maximise spending before any cap kicks in. So when Christchurch spends $277,000 per day on consultants, it's not just about that money, it's about priorities. The council says consultants handle specialist work and short-term projects. That might make sense in normal times. But these aren't normal times. Families are being hammered by rate increases, while councils continue spending at levels that seem disconnected from the financial pressure on households. Here's what we know about this consultant spending. The council's annual reports mention it, but the information is hard to follow. There's no clear breakdown showing how much went to engineering, planning, management advice, or IT work. More importantly, there's little detail about what outcomes that $72 million delivered. And there's a bigger problem with heavy consultant use. As councils rely more on outside experts, internal knowledge decreases. When consultants finish their work, their experience leaves with them. That often means paying for the same advice repeatedly. It's like renting expertise instead of building it, and rent never stops. Let me be clear. There's no evidence Christchurch City Council has acted unlawfully. But there is a gap between what councils spend and what ratepayers can clearly understand about that spending. The questions ratepayers deserve answers to are straightforward. If the Mayor wants to spend less on consultants, why is the spending so high? If Christchurch is the most efficient council, what does that say about the others? Is there a plan to reduce reliance on expensive consultants? Can ratepayers clearly see what value they're getting for $72 million? When households are tightening budgets to cover rising rates, councils should demonstrate the same restraint. With 4 years until any government intervention, transparency matters more than ever. This story matters because it connects critical issues. Rising costs hitting families now, delayed government action until 2029, council spending that's hard for ratepayers to understand, and contradictions between what leaders say and what they do. So the burning $72 million question? Because asking reasonable questions about public spending isn't cynicism, it's how democracy works.
Rates capping. Now, if that's coming, it's going to be forced on us. Some councils are looking at going, oh, this is our last hurrah, we can crank them up as much as we like.